Woo! Awesome. Cool. So we're live now. So that means that the live stream is there, but I gave nobody any kind of notification that this is happening. So usually it takes a couple minutes. But this also gets recorded as a video. And so that's one thing that's really cool about live streaming is that, like, if you're gonna make YouTube videos effectively, you really can just live stream all of your content, and then you have live streams happening. Hey man, what's up, Zachy? We're doing pretty well. We're actually, this is Eric, and we're on the way to meet with Dane, who's the other person for the systematical thing we're working on for the Vero stuff, and that is gonna get installed, and I'll be making videos, which is gonna be really. This is like, I can get more involved in it, whereas so far, most of the systematical stuff has been Eric and Dane, the one that we're going to meet up with. And that's awesome that you got more sales, man. That's wicked. You got your 5th sale, right? That means you got some out of stocks or some kind of problem, yeah? Anything bad happen in those 5 sales? Losing 50 cents isn't that bad. That's fine. I usually fulfill orders if I lose like $5 or less, then I'll always fulfill it. If it's more than that, then maybe not. Yeah, I remember. So I read most of it, but if I feel that the information to answer it is easily accessible, then, hey, Ali! What's up, man? Good to see you. Ali's watching. Nice. We've been trying to find a VA for Eric, Ali. I just haven't done it yet. There's a couple people that's promising. There's a guy from the Dominican Republic. Sergio says, are you using Home Depot for dropshipping? Or for DP. What does DP mean? I think he means DS, but maybe he means DP. Home Depot is, as far as I know, it's one of the better sources for dropshipping. I don't use Home Depot, but that's not because you shouldn't use Home Depot. That's just because of happen chance that I got involved with Walmart, right? And Walmart was more appealing to learn about ball turns and like systematic. Walmart it's very easy to just handle things with chat reps and deal with the stuff. Like once you get used to the problems that happen, they're pretty predictable and standard. And the free return things is amazing. It's just really useful. Same with Amazon. Home Depot is interesting because like the main reason I stopped using it was because of the shipping times. They were just longer. But the reality is that Home Depot's one of the more profitable dropshipping sources because it's more stable and there's less competition. Home Depot is actively aware that people dropship and is you heard that Home Depot is now only accepting returns from the buyer, not the receiver. That would be interesting. That would complicate things for sure, but there's almost always a workaround. Like anytime you hear anything, you should assume that there's a workaround that just isn't talked about or isn't known fully. It's just better and more realistic to think that way because there's a lot of, most of the stuff that exists on the internet is a reason not to do something, not information to help you do something. So you have to anticipate that you're going to go through like 70 or 80% of the stuff you find is going to be information that discourages you and it's designed to just validate quitting basically. 1 second, let me pull the chat up again. If you have different name and PayPal account and I get limitation, what will going on? Sorry, Yusuf, can you ask that question again? I don't understand. Try and use like different words. And then someone else just asked about the lister that I'm using. So Eric is actually making a lister for us to use and a repricer and a whole bunch of stuff so we don't have to pay SKUgrid $500-600 because we both have almost or Hydra Lister. We both have almost identical accounts. Eric's account is like 1 or 2 automatic limit increases behind the size of my account, but he has an enterprise store, which is like the biggest store, you know. The main difference is that he can't have the multi-quantity level that I can have. I can have 10 quantity for a default, right? And this makes a big difference in kind of the profitability, because you get these random sales and it's only one sale that accounts for like 10 or 15 other sales, right? So being able to have that happen is important. And there's a lot of things that we're adding now. Like the main thing to focus on now is the fact that all of our products are like $10 to $35 cost from Walmart. And this gives good stability, and especially like from PayPal's perspective and that kind of thing, they don't mind tons of small payments, right? But when you have more chaotic payments and you haven't like established a history yet, you have more problems with those limitations and that kind of stuff. So I think that now we're at a point where, you know, we have enough history and we've scaled at a point where we can start using more of the more expensive items again. And it's likely that there will be some kind of limitation placed because of this, like some kind of rolling reserve or some kind of just safeguard from PayPal's end because of the increase in volume, right? Because when I originally used to bulk post, like my biggest month in sales was, I think like March, when I first started bulk posting. That was when I was bulk posting raw items. And the reason for that is that a lot of the sales that I would get would be like $200, $300, $400 sales, right? So I get more quantity sales now than I got ever, right? But I was getting more like dollar value in sales back then, and that led to more cash back and that kind of thing. And so that's something that we need to add in again, so that we have around like 200,000 listings, and then that's going to be the kind of like ideal point for bulk, in my opinion, at the moment. Let me look at more questions again. I wish you would just constantly show the chat questions. Okay, the best bulk lister. So it depends what bulk means to you, the scale that you're talking about, because bulk can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. What's up, Carlos? Good to see you again. For some people, bulk means a couple hundred. Like the act of posting a couple hundred items at once would be a bulk posting session, right? For some people, it's thousands. For some people, tens of thousands. For some people, hundreds. We're back. Sorry, I lost service there. XRev says, if I dropship a watch for around $30, what's the best resale price? And do you always use 19% for break even? So for break even, like, I don't really think about break even too much, because you have to have your break even rate and your profit rate. And I think of those as just one number, right? So I use one markup. I'll get the cost of the item times 1.35 is what I do at the moment. So break even like is good, definitely. It's important that you understand what a break even concept, like what that is, so you know your profitability. But the reality is that for people who are new into it or trying to understand it, understanding the difference between break even and profitability can often confuse a lot of people, and you should just use a set markup of like 1.4 if you're learning, and just always use that as your markup. So take the cost of the item plus the shipping. You don't need to worry about the tax because that's going to change. And then do 1.4 times that amount, right? Sorry, and the way that the chat is shown to me when I live stream from my phone doesn't keep everything visible constantly. So I keep losing track of questions and missing them. Let's Fly Higher asked if I'm gay. That's common. People have asked me that for a long time. I'm like, I think that all people are pansexual, and it's based on your history. That being said, I don't have any history with that, so it's not something that's convenient in my mind, if that makes sense. And I've always fallen in love with females, but you know, things change. I don't know. I don't really care too much about identifying as a certain way. I just live my life, and if I meet people I'm interested in them, you know. Okay, and XRev says, and what if my shipping is free because I have Amazon Prime? You just do the exact same thing, man. Like, your cost to acquire the item is the cost of the item plus the shipping price. If there is no shipping price, then that is the cost of the item alone is your cost. Technically, you also pay sales tax on that, right? But sales tax varies a lot, so it's usually easier to just have a higher markup that accommodates for sales tax, right? Hazim IA says, Jack, can you please send me your reply template? So honestly, I don't use a template. I have a community written template that I started that people have contributed to. So you can send me an email at jackdermotpitman@gmail.com. If you want me to share that. I can't right now because I'm doing this stream and I'm going to forget if I just tell you I'll do it. So do that so I remember. XRev asked if we're both Vikings. Eric likes Vikings. He is Swedish, yeah. Mr. Tilt says, is Amazon too saturated? That's a really loaded question because you have to be careful with thinking that way because there are always reasons to stop you from doing something. The reality is that there's almost always a profitable way to do something. It's just a matter of identifying it, right? And applying the right strategies. So you have to be able to think that way. Like, yeah, Amazon is saturated, but it's also the biggest e-commerce market, like, by far in the places that it's available, which is like the US and a couple other countries, right? So Cricket Classic says, what's this channel for? I saw it in my recommendations. So my channel is a combination of things. Like, pretty much it has videos about the interests I have in my life. It's mostly about dropshipping, and that's how I got most of my subscribers. But I don't want to be a dropshipping only channel. That's something that's important to me because really what leads to success isn't necessarily learning about a specific skill. It's about learning the mentality and how to deal with the emotions and how to understand the way that you need to change the way that you think if you want to change your life, right? And these kind of concepts are more interesting to me, and I use YouTube as a way to monetize and learn about the things that I'm interested in, because the act of making videos regularly makes me really more educated than I would be if I didn't make any of the videos. What about starting eBay account reviews? So I'm not really in a super good place to do that. Like, so people can schedule videos with me whenever they want. They can just go to the Calendly link on some of the more recent videos, or you can go to calendly.com/JackDermotPitman, and you can pick a topic and we'll talk about it. The catch is that it's recorded and published to YouTube. So as long as you know that, you can literally schedule a video with me about anything. So if you want me to review a store, you could have that be the reason for the call. I'm probably not going to go out and review a bunch of people's stores, but as long as I'm recording the video, I can blur out all of the sensitive information and that kind of stuff. I won't do it live like this, right? So there wouldn't be any way to identify you, but I can still give you the feedback. The thing is that whenever we're making any of these interactions, it's really important that you understand that if I'm just helping you and there's no way for a recorded video to be made from it, then it's not incentivizing for me, because that doesn't contribute to the growth of my channel and to the availability of that information to other people, right? Because if we make a video, then anybody else in the world could possibly see that video and benefit from it. Whereas if we don't make a video, then it's just you. And me, obviously, because I benefit from this as well, these interactions, I learn a lot. But I'd much rather possibly assist 1,000 people than 2, right? It's just exponentially more effective that way. right now, Jack Burns, there are like 94,000 listings or something like that. So it's going to operate around that for another month. And then on the 1st of next month is going to be the goal to start running at 200,000 items. So more items are going to be posted at that point. Alright guys, this was just a kind of quick experimental live stream, so I gotta go now. But cool to see you guys, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!
Bye.